I broke my back. Spinal.
So Billy Joe Saunders has come out insinuating that Golovkin had been taking something, and that is the reason why he has slowed down. This is exactly what Billy Joe Saunders came out saying. In his last fight, let's face it, he wasn't the best Golovkin that we've seen 2 or 3 years ago. He slowed down a bit. But also, my opinion is that had something to do with having 5 drug tests. So I don't think he boxed to his best ability because it's a fair playing field now. So basically what Billy Joe Saunders is saying, he was juicing, he was taking some performance enhancing drug. And that's why he was looking so good in the past, and he hasn't anymore in the last 2 fights. Well, I think, in my opinion, I think it's a combination of both. I think it's a combination of him fighting nothing but bums, and now fighting somewhat of better opposition. And it definitely has something to do with the VADA testing, because let's remember that he took the VADA testing against Lemieux in 2015. But let's remember that there was controversy right there. And they were trying to bring up red flags on Golovkin because he decided to take it less than a month before the fight against Lemieux. And we all know that's bullshit. Less than a month before the fight, that is bullshit. And then now, he's been constantly drug tested more thoroughly in the fight with Brook and the fight with Jacobs. And of course, I'm pretty sure with the fight coming up, with Canelo is going to be the same. And now that he's randomly getting tested more consistently, is when we see this drop. And where he didn't look good at all against Brook. He gets exposed at least for a round or 2. And he comes out winning, but come on, he was facing a fucking welterweight. I mean, Brook is a step up from all those fucking bums he's been fighting, but he was still a welterweight. He was still supposed to win by knockout. And he didn't look good doing it. Whatever. So he continues on with the testing and he's fighting Jacobs now. And now he looks completely average. He lost that fight. I keep saying it over and over and a lot of people agree. He lost that fight. He looks super fucking average. He was not cutting off the ring. He did not look powerful like he's looked in the past and destructive force. This destructive force. So, I mean, come on, man. You gonna say that's a coincidence? And fuckers are gonna try to say now that he's old now? Like, no, man. What the fuck, man? He was up to last year when he fucking fought Dominique Wade. I mean, that fucking bum Wade. Everybody was still marching on. All his fanboys talking about how fucking unbelievable he is, indestructible and this and that, And out of nowhere, now a year later, now he's fucking old. I mean, come on, man. Get the fuck out of here, man. I mean, how many consecutive knockouts did he have up to when Daniel Jacobs broke it? Throughout them years of them quick knockouts, most of them were quick knockouts. I mean, a lot of fuckers are trying to say that he's old now. I mean, like I'm saying, those fucking knockouts were quick knockouts. He wasn't going full distance fights, so he could be all worn out already and fucking getting old already by the age of 35. He hasn't been in wars. He's been knocking out fuckers and early. All these fucking bums he's been fighting. And now, because of these fucking red flags coming up, and it's pretty obvious and apparent that he did not look good in the last 2 fights as soon as he's taking random fucking blood testing with VADA. Now you're gonna say that he's fucking old? It's a fucking coincidence, isn't it? So like I said, it could be a combination of both, man. So Billy Joe Saunders is not really talking out of his ass, man. I think it's a combination of both. He did I gotta say somewhat stepped up his competition because, the Brook fight, he's a name, but he's a fucking welterweight. But like I said, he's still, I guess, better than the other fucking bums he was fighting. But he's still a fucking welterweight. That's why I'm going to say he somewhat stepped it up. And then the Jacobs fight, I mean, it wasn't by choice, of course. It was a mandatory. But that's when you start to say he's stepping it up. And that's only 1 fight ago. That was in his weight class, so middleweight. So you could kind of say that he stepped it up against Brook. But I mean, it's a fucking welterweight. And now he's going to fucking fight Canelo. So in reality, it's only been like, if you really think about it, he's stepping up with the Jacobs fight and with Canelo. Finally, 2017. I really do think that it's true and it's very probable that he was taking something. Because even in that fucking weigh-in, you could see his face, man, his body, how it looked, man. He looked fucking drained and dry, man. He looked horrible in that weigh-in against fucking Kell Brook. And then the energy and fucking in the ring against Kell Brook. I mean, he got lifted off the ground with a fucking uppercut from a fucking welterweight. So, I mean, all these motherfuckers always talking about, oh, he's a small middleweight. My fucking ass he is. Look how fucking drained he looked against Kell Brook. I mean, you're going to keep saying that he was not drained and he's still a small middleweight after that Kell Brook weigh-in? I mean, did you see him? Everybody was asking him if he was fucking sick. He looked like shit. You can't have it both ways. If you're going to keep saying that he's still a small middleweight, then how come he looked like shit as soon as they give him strict, random blood testing through VADA? None of that fucking Lemieux shit that only less than a month before the fight. This was throughout the training camp, the entire training camp against Kell Brook. Which one is it? You got to choose one. You're going to keep saying that he's a small middleweight? Then that's a big coincidence how fucking shitty he looked as soon as they fucking put him under the needle for the entire training camp. And then the Jacobs fight, come on, man. He looked a little better. He looked normal. Let's say he looked normal for the weigh-in. But up in that ring, man, look average as fuck, man. He lost that fucking fight. So, Billy Joe Saunders, I agree with him on this one, man. I think Golovkin has been under the microscope, too, with the fucking gloves. That shit has been suspicious, too. And now that he's under VADA drug testing is when he's looking old, if you want to say. He's looking average. Well, that's a pretty big-ass fucking coincidence, man. And I ain't buying it. Golovkin is being exposed fight after fight, and he's going to be exposed completely come September. Canelo is going to definitely beat his fucking ass. Guarantee it. Alright, so that's all I got to say about this, and I'm out.
I broke my back. Spinal.